Hi everyone, and welcome to the Virgo November through December 2022 Illumination reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. What does that mean? That means that in today's reading, and as well as all the content on this channel, is really meant to help you better illuminate something about your unique self, those heroic capabilities that lie within us, so that you can better be able to see your own personal path, experience your purpose, and get closer to those feelings of emotional fulfillment that come when we see where we as a unique individual fits into the greater collective experience. So, in today's reading, we are going to be taking a look at your energy for the next couple months, what's going on around you, and then a challenge that Spirit's asking you to face and overcome to unlock something specific about yourself. And we'll take a look at what that is, how you can utilize it, as well as how to overcome the block and make your way through the challenge. So let's see what's coming up for you, Virgo. Now, this month I did do a little something different. I'm recording 2 readings at a time. So I'm doing a sign and then its opposing sign on the Zodiac wheel. So I just finished your opposing sign, Virgo, which is Pisces. So I do really recommend for anybody who is interested in watching more than just one video to watch your opposing signs video, because it's really going to show you the other half of the challenge that we're looking at here and give you a slightly different perspective. Okay, so Virgo, let's see here. You have Knight of, I like this. Okay, so you're coming in with the energy of finally releasing a heavy burden you've carried for some time. And you're ready to kind of free yourself, to go out there and get the wheels turning again. This is the Knight of Wands and Ten of Wands. And the Ten of Wands is the end of a cycle where we finally get to take the burdens of the cycle and bring them home to rest. And I often see this, I know I don't hear a lot of other readers bring this up, but I often see it as a chance for you to kind of lay your burdens down and be able to see all these points of action that you've taken, because that's really what wands speak to: action, passion. You get to kind of see all the stuff you've been carrying. You get to put it on the ground and you get to see, what do you want to take with you into the next cycle? What are those points of action that you're like, you know what, that was a good step for me, or I liked it when I did that. I felt passionate when I made that move or I took that action. And that's what the Knight of Wands then gets to get up. He gets to take his Ace of Wands, the start of the next cycle, that passion, that one thing that really, out of all of this kind of struggle, what is that one thing that now lights your flame that you want to go out and experience more of? So I think you're really kind of sitting with that energy, Virgo. You're getting ready to leap into Sagittarius season, which starts in just a couple days from when I'm recording this video. So it's going to be a fiery energy, especially with the planetary alignments on November 23rd. Jupiter gets to move into your sign Pisces, which is fantastic. Moves into Pisces, which again is going to heighten an aspect of yourself, Virgo, because again of your connection on the Zodiac wheel. But there's a lot of blessings and abundance that can come in on and after this date because of Jupiter's movement. And it's really going to be a time where we're going to feel like we want to expand. So you're already coming in with that energy, which is lovely. So let's see what's going on around you. Okay, Knight of Swords. A lot of, I feel, truth, thoughts, the sharing of, this can be a card of, quick communication. It could also be the card of someone coming in and sharing a truth with you. So let's see what else you're learning about yourself. So we have 2 of Pentacles with the 7 of Pentacles and the 4 of Swords. So there is this coming to this point over the next couple months where you are going to be kind of taking a look at what you're juggling day to day, the 2 of Pentacles, and really taking a look at where you can perhaps, with the 7 of Pentacles coming in, this is that point of reevaluation of, okay, I've put time and energy into something. I'm looking at what it's reaped for me Meaning I get to see, okay, I put time and energy into one thing or one area of my life, or maybe multiple areas. Is what I'm seeing, the results of that action, that time, that energy and effort, is it what I want? And I think with the Two of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles, there's kind of this deciding point of, okay, this is where I want to prioritize my time and energy. This is that one thing that, maybe I see in this plant here that I've been, working with and growing. Yeah, I like this, but maybe I like one specific part of it. And that's going to be kind of that point of, all right, this is where I really want to focus my energy. And with the Four of Swords coming in, this is a time of rest, of reflection, of really getting clear on your truth versus all of the wounds of the past, those things that kind of haunt us in our mental space that come through when we sit and kind of stop and think of, I think this kind of comes up when we made that decision. I think a lot of you have finally made a decision in some aspect of your life to kind of go forward with something specifically, but that always forces us then to kind of face that hard truth of our truth. And when we make decisions, oftentimes those like little negative thoughts pop up of like, yeah, but remember the last time you tried this, it didn't work. Or remember the last time you tried to share your truth in this way, this is, what the other person came back with. Or the last time you tried to start a business, it failed. Or the last time you tried to go out into the dating world, it didn't work out. But this is saying that there is something now that you want to dedicate yourself to. You're putting your time and energy towards it, but it's causing you to get clear on your truth. And I think that that's really where the Knight of Swords is coming in, because there's an energy around you over the next 2 months, Virgo, which really actually supports your energy. This is a card that brings in the mercurial energy. It's a card of Gemini, which is a sign that's also ruled, just like you are, by Mercury. So there's this mercurial energy around you, which is actually highly supportive of you and the energy that you work with. But Virgo, unlike Gemini, where Gemini is they use the mercurial energy to express outwardly, meaning they are, tend to be overly communicative, and whatever goes on in their mental space often comes out of their mouth. And I know I work a lot with Gemini energy myself, so I understand this. Virgo, you tend to take all of that mental energy and you internalize it. You scrutinize it, you analyze it, and then you move forward with it. But often it can be moving forward in a very measured way. The Knight of Swords is not measured. The Knight of Swords is fast, it's brash. Again, there's a feeling here of sharing this truth. This can be where someone communicates something and it's about, quick movement. You have to come back with something, maybe a witty remark, or you have to answer that email right off the bat and you have to be ready to go. So there's this feeling a little bit of being ready to go. And in order to kind of meet this energy, you have to be clear on your truth. You have to be clear on what you want to work towards, where you want to put your time and energy, and also what burden you're putting down and what you're excited about picking up. Because we have the Knight of Wands meeting the Knight of Swords. This is fast-moving energy. The Knight of Wands is Sagittarius energy. This is what we're moving into. So you're really embracing that and moving into it with this kind of swift movement. You're like ready to kind of jump into the herd that's, the herd of horses that's galloping towards you. So I feel this very positive push forward for many of you. So we're going to dive now into the challenge to see kind of what is the block? What is the challenge that you're facing? That Spirit's asking you really to face and overcome to help unlock this part of yourself that wants to move forward and to help make this recommitment to something in your life successful. All right, so let's see. What does Virgo need to know about the challenge they're going to be facing moving into November and December? Okay. So you have the King of Cups. I love that. That's Scorpio energy. So we're moving out of Scorpio season and into Sagittarius season. So some of you maybe have done kind of a deep dive, really looking at yourself from that emotional perspective. Now, the King of Cups is also your primary challenge here. So the King of Cups is someone who is emotionally mature. He understands and values his emotion. Okay, so we have the Prince of Swords again. The Prince of Swords in this deck is the Knight of Swords. So we have double kind of confirmation that energy is coming in. So for some of you, there's a feeling here of not wanting to, I think, kind of go as deep as you need to on an emotional level to really, I think, heal some aspect of yourself, to honor your emotions along with your thoughts. And that can be hard, when we think about a sign that's ruled by Mercury. Mercury is quick moving energy. It's the messenger. It's communication, it's thoughts. And those things are not, when you think about thoughts, they come and they go really quickly. It's not like feelings that kind of linger and last, and we have to really go down to process those. There's a feeling here of not kind of wanting to take that step to really process the emotions and to get really strong in that place before jumping into this quick moving energy. Because I think if you can take that time to really, sorry guys, I got distracted. A bald eagle just flew by my window. I live in an area where those are prevalent. It's still really neat to see that up close and personal. Anyways, it's kind of a sign, I feel, for some of you, this kind of powerful energy, and it's a powerful silent energy. Yeah, the world coming up in the middle, or in the heart of your reading. This is kind of like similar to, this is the major arcana version of the Ten of Wands. This is the closing of a major cycle, the release and the starting of something new. But first, before this happens, there needs to be this reflective point, this going deep within your emotions, honoring your emotions. They are as important as your thoughts. And before we can go out and share our truth or kind of join that energy of communicating from that point of, what we want to focus on and what we're passionate about and the new adventure we want to go on, we have to get very clear as to those feelings within us. What makes us sad? What makes us happy? What makes us what are we yearning to feel an enjoyment of? And how can we yield those emotions from a place of emotional maturity? That's really what the King of Cups speaks to. It speaks to almost getting to that spiritual place within us as well, going deep down to connect with the core of our spiritual selves through our emotions. Now, the world coming up at the heart of your reading is what Spirit's asking you to embrace. And Spirit's asking you to embrace an end to a major cycle you've gone through. And that's really why I think the Four of Swords is coming up as well, because there's this beautiful point of reflection to say, okay, as you went through this last cycle, what did you learn about yourself? What is the truth you learned? And here comes the Four of Swords again. So, beautiful. Okay, so we have the Sun, we have the Princess of Cups, which is the Page of Cups, and we have the Four of Swords. So I'm just going to say this right off the bat, Virgo. There's a little bit here coming through of kind of healing your inner child. With the Sun coming in, it's like this is the closing of a major cycle. You can see that this individual is almost like in the darkness of the universal, never-ending night, where she gets to kind of look at everything that she's learned, all the lessons, and then she gets to step out into the light of a new cycle, into the light of day, into illumination. That's what the Sun speaks to. But it also speaks, there always often, in most of the decks I use, the image on the Sun card is a child. And sometimes it's a naked child, and sometimes it's just a child. And this is about illuminating that part of ourselves, that most innocent, pure form of who we are, the naked child of God, as you can kind of see it in this way, that there's this element of really realizing who you are, the uniqueness of yourself, and kind of basking in the glory of the light of that, of who you are. And then you move into basically the Page of Cups, the Princess of Cups. This to me is always the inner child cup. This is where we're getting back to that innocent, pure emotion of, this is what I love. This is what I need. This is what I want to share with others from a place of curiosity and optimism, and not, it's harnessing the energy of the child who runs up to you and wants to show you something that they've made. And they're so excited. And they're not sitting here wondering if we're going to look at it and be like, oh, that's silly, or I've seen that 100 times before. That's not something they care about. All they want to do is have you experience in that moment their joy, their excitement, or possibly their pain, or their whatever they're feeling in that moment. They want to share it with you in that pure way. And I think for some of you, it's really getting back to that version of yourself. What part of yourself do you hide from sharing? What part of yourself, that pure, beautiful part, do you, because of the wounds of the past, not openly put out there for others to see? It's holding that cup out there for others to see what's in there. And yeah, they may laugh and they may look at it and say, well, that's, stupid. But ultimately, that doesn't matter because it's your cup. Just like the illumination is not illuminating someone else, it's illuminating who you are. It's illuminating the freedom of wanting to free that beautiful inner child that lies within. And the Four of Swords is that point of realizing what's kept you. What are those negative thoughts? What are the wounds of the past that have kept you from being able to move forward in the sharing of your truth boldly? As well as being able to, as others do so with you, to hold your own position. So really, really beautiful energy here. There is, and I know it can sound cliche, but there's a lot of inner child healing going on for you, Virgo, over the next 2 months. And I love that. I really do love that for you. Because that's what's going to allow you to really, I think, get into that place of the spiritual adventure. That's what I like to see with, or what I like to call Sagittarius with the Knight of Wands here. It's a spiritual adventurer, someone who's ready to go out there and just experience life from a place of what lights my fire, what connects with me on a spiritual level, and what's going to, because when we think of Sagittarius as a sign, it's a sign that is the seeker of truth. And so there is this element of this kind of direct connection between your truth and then starting the journey of seeking again. It's almost like reconnecting with your inner child to then go out and really seek the truth of the importance of that out in your external environment. And this is really going to help you become, I think, very successful and clear as to, again, what you're wanting to nurture, what you're wanting to put your time, energy, and effort into to watch grow and bloom. Okay, so I'm going to pull some clarifiers here for the King of Cups. So we're going to see a little bit more. I did see another Knight of Swords come up, but I want it to come up a little bit. If it's going to come out again, let's see if we can get it a little bit more clear. What does Virgo need to know about the King of Cups? Okay, the Ten of Swords and the Four of Coins. For some of you, there's this feeling of holding yourself back because of a time in your life where you were brought to your knees. A really difficult period in your life where you had to deal with a time that felt like there was 10 swords in your back. But the beauty of the Ten of Swords is that it's also just like the Ten of Wands, the end of a cycle, and you get to stand up with the Ace of Swords to start the next cycle. It's the new truth about yourself that you've learned in going through that process. What are you capable of? What are you no longer going to stand for? What is that guiding hope or dream or thought that's going to start that next cycle? But with the Four of Coins, I think for some of you, there's been this holding back on time, energy, and resources and putting something towards something else. This could be where maybe now you're in a relationship with somebody and it's getting ready to take it to the next level. Maybe purchase a home together or, buy the ring or, something along those lines. But because of the wounds of maybe a previous relationship that brought you to your knees, you've been sitting here kind of juggling your resources and are like, I don't know if I really want to put that down payment on the house with this person, so I'm going to hold myself back. Or I don't know if I really want to commit 100% to this person because the last time it didn't work out, so I'm not going to put money in the bank to save for that ring. This can be the same thing on the business side of things, of because you when you go deep into your emotions, there's this deep wounding, this hurt that comes up around this point. Let's say you started a business and it failed, or every time you apply yourself at work, something happens, and maybe this is a point where you were, laid off or fired, or you had to change career paths because something wasn't working out and it really shook up your entire life. And so now you have a chance to maybe reinvest yourself in, maybe you have a chance to put more time and energy in at work to get that promotion, or to move up into maybe a new area of your work experience, or start a new business. But again, you're holding yourself back because you don't really want to go dive into those feelings again. It's scary. You're like, I don't know if I can go there. I don't know if I can handle it. And this is where the leap comes in. This is where, when we honor our emotions and we face them head on, the hurt, the pain, the anger, and we don't hide from them, this is where we get to really step into our new truth. This is where we get to harness the power of what the Page or the Prince of Swords or the Knight of Swords is. It's the getting on your horse and saying, here I am. This is what I want. This is who I am. This is what I'm capable of. Now, for some of you, I'm just going to say this in a very specific way. This may be that for some of you, again, this is a general reading, but I'm just picking up intuitively. For some of you, someone may come in with kind of a truth bomb for a quick communication. This could be like where you've been in a long-term relationship and you're like, I don't know if I want to invest. I don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden the person's like, I love you. Let's get married. And you're like, whoa, wait, what? And suddenly you're forced in that moment to face all of the things you've been holding yourself back from facing. The hurt, the wounding of the past, the reason why you've been holding yourself back. And there's this part of you that wants to just be like, yes, I love you back and let's go and do this thing. But you can't, there's an element here around not wanting to face that emotions, because it's almost like opening a Pandora's box, right? Like if I open that, I might have to heal the anger I have towards my ex for all of what they put me through. Or I might have to heal the hurt that happened when I had to go through a divorce or something along that line. Or this can be, again, like a job opportunity that comes in out of the blue. Somebody's like, I have a business and it's you. I want you to come and work for me. And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't, again, the last time I tried to do this, it was so scary. Okay, so we have the King of Cups again and the Five of Wands for the Knight of Swords. So again, King of Cups, Five of Wands. Five of Wands is a card of, it can be a card actually I like to see of healthy competition. Everybody's bringing their wand into the table and they get to kind of go out there and test, see what they're capable of. It can also be one of chaos where it's too many cooks in the kitchen. And I think for some of you, with the King of Cups coming in again with the Five of Wands, there's this feeling of not wanting to go to this depth, not wanting to go there because it feels chaotic. It feels like I might have to, get out there. And for some of you, this could be, a romantic interest, and it could even be an ex-romantic interest coming in. And it again, it's bringing in this feeling of chaos, of can I go there? Can I stay emotionally mature to jump into the fray? There's that feeling coming through of, can I, in dealing with maybe, this can also be, when you think about it, this can also be trigger, like people coming in to trigger you. The other people are just coming in and being like, sharing their truth in the moment. Like, wow, your project isn't as good as we were hoping. And they just kind of verbally vomit that out there, or this could be your significant other saying something that, kind of makes you feel less than in the moment. They're not meaning to hurt you, but it's just the way that it comes across. And suddenly that trigger brings up kind of that depth of emotion again. And it's that feeling of, I don't know if I can hold myself emotionally stable enough to go out there again with, it's like you want to go out with that passion, you want to go out with your wand, but you're also afraid of really kind of losing yourself, I think, in the chaos. It'd be like jumping in there and being like, okay, here's my wand. And then the first time somebody's like, hits your hand with their staff and you're like, ow, wait, never mind. I don't want to do this. And all of a sudden you're back here facing all of your emotions again. And I think for some of you, there's this feeling of kind of like drowning in that. Now, I think for many of you, this has been kind of a cycle that you've gone through kind of over and over again, this like trigger and wounding and hurting and holding yourself back. And the world comes in and says, no, this cycle is done. This cycle is done. And the beauty of this cycle is I think many of you have learned the importance of working with your emotions, of realizing that they are a healthy part of your experience, that we can't run from them. Okay, Page of Cups again. So here it is. Page of Cups, Page of Cups. Yes, you're being asked to kind of wipe the slate clean. And it's interesting because this came forward, I feel like a little bit in Pisces as well. Theirs was really focused more on opening up, starting the new. Yours is the same way, but more from this point of, it's almost like wiping away all of the years of masking that's been put on yourself from kind of this adult perspective of whatever has come in through life. Yeah, and there's the Ace of Swords. There's the truth. As you open the box and you reconnect with your inner child, the cup that holds those innocent dreams, the innocent wishes, the love you want to share with others from a place of vulnerability, there comes the truth of the whole cycle that you've been going through. And that truth is powerful. That truth is going to allow you that as people come in, if there are triggers, people truth bombing you and of that nature, you're going to be able to hold strong with this new truth. This can also be a clear idea, clarity around the part of yourself you've kept away in a box for a long period of time. And Spirit really wants you to understand the importance of why we need to share that, why we need to hold our cup dear. And we have the Nine of Wands for the Sun. Yeah, it's been a long struggle. But then we have Justice. Justice is that beautiful feeling of balance. There's a divinity coming in between the struggle that you've gone through and the time now that that struggle is released. For some of you too, this could be a long-term commitment, some type of something that has to do with illegality. So this could be feeling the struggle around, a committed relationship where you're married, or the struggle around a commitment to a specific field of work. Or that maybe you felt tied to something else, a loan that you had to pay off, something along that line, that it's been a long battle through that. And the illumination is coming in, though, to say that journey is over. It's time to put down the wands and the burden. And it's time now for justice to come in and balance the scales. Maybe under whatever this was, you had to, again, put aside that inner child. And now it's time for it to be illuminated, for it to be front and center. Okay, now I'm going to pull cards here for the last two cards. For some of you, this may be an illumination as to where you haven't been, where something hasn't felt balanced in your life. Where, this could be like a lack of fairness in a relationship, a lack of fairness in your work environment, that's caused you to feel drained, burned out, weary, like you're always like having to battle something. Okay, so we have three cards that came out. Four of Swords again, so this is the third time this card has come out. We have the Queen of Cups and the Six of Wands. Beautiful. Four of Swords, again, you're being asked to reflect and release the three swords that are the wounds of the past, to pick up your Ace of Swords, that clarity of who you are, what you're capable of, what you want to move forward with, where you want to communicate from even. And then the Queen of Cups comes in with love. This is the archetypal mother energy of unconditional love for what is in your cup. The nurturing, what you hold important is just as important as what everyone else holds important, and that's unique to them. And the Six of Wands is success. It's a card of recognition. It's a card of being seen for actions taken. And there's this feeling here for some of you that if you can really get to that place of self-love, love for your inner child, love for what you uniquely bring to the situation and for how far you've come, all that you went through, and now the truth of how strong you are and what you're capable of, there is success here waiting for you. And for some of you, that could actually be this energy here. This could be that communication of job well done. You're going to get that big promotion, Virgo. And suddenly it's like, whoa, wait, I don't know. Shoot. Yeah, I want it, but I don't know if I'm capable of it. Or again, this could be job well done, Virgo. You're the love of my life. Let's get married and buy the house and do the whole thing. And suddenly you're like, whoa, wait, what? Yes, that's what I've wanted. But now it's coming in fast. Are you prepared for it? Are you emotionally prepared for it? And this says yes. You're clear on what the inner part of yourself yearns for. You're clear on it. You're ready to love it. You understand how it's part of your truth. And when this energy comes in, you're prepared for it. And you're prepared to go to meet it from a place of passion and meet it from a place of emotional maturity. Opportunity is really knocking here for you this over the next couple months, Virgo, and it's really going to help you if you truly kind of make peace with your inner child and what has caused you to kind of keep it locked away. Really use the next month and a half to really go within, because that's what the Four of Swords also brings up here. It's rest. It's meditation, it's reflection. And when we give ourselves that time to do that, that's when that clarity gets to come in. That's the aha. That's the I see now. That's why I see why I've hid that part of myself, or why I didn't want to admit to myself that that's really what I wanted, or why I don't ever share that with the most intimate people in my life. Okay. Because this is definitely a time of deciding, again, where you want to put your time, energy, and resources. And when you do that, something is going to grow here, especially with the sun coming in, the illumination. But you first have to get past your fears and the wounds of the past to realize the power that you hold within you, just in being who you are. Okay, so I'm pulling a card here for the concept of curiosity. So now we're getting some advice from Spirit. This is where Spirit would like you to stay curious as to where you might be blocking yourself from really leaning into your loving your inner child and moving forward with investing in something for yourself. And we have envy coming up. Number 20 breaks down to the number 2, which is the energy of, it can be harmony, but it can also be, two sides coming together to work together. And it's interesting because envy often can be seen as this, negative energy of, you're wanting what somebody else has. And it can be. It can be when we, as you can see in this image, this woman is holding, she's dressed very richly, looks like she's a queen, holding a platter of what looks to be a bunch of gold coins. And yet she is not happy and she's looking out beyond where she is at something better. The grass is greener kind of thing. And yeah, envy can keep us from enjoying what we have in the moment. It brings us out of that place of being present and to look at what we have and how it actually supports our inner child versus something over there that may seem great on paper, but if you were ever to go over there, it wouldn't actually be what you need. It's what somebody else needs. So take a look, though, also at the positive side of envy. Envy often can be actually a beautiful emotion to feel because often it highlights something that we know we're capable of achieving somewhere deep within, but we're too afraid to pursue it. Now, this can be where we look at someone's life, maybe who has a career path that, they've maybe risen in the ranks in a specific field, or they're the one that became the vice president of a company, or they're the one that went back to school and they got the degrees and suddenly now they're a master at what they do. That might holds a key to yourself as to what you're yearning for, but what you've been holding yourself back from actually following. But yet somewhere deep within this inner child you've hidden, it yearns for that because deep down you know you're capable of it. I often find that we envy or yearn for things that would truly, if we allow ourselves to move into them and move towards them, would unlock our gifts that kind of are hidden, latent within ourselves, that would actually allow us to achieve that. So for instance, you might look at somebody and say, I want to build my own house. I want to build that mansion on the hill. But gosh darn it, I don't have enough money right now. But somehow in moving towards that dream, it shows you something about yourself that you might unlock as you start to pursue that, as you start to save the money, as you start to maybe speak with people who have built homes before, you start to talk to contractors, and suddenly that might actually, in the pursuit of building your own home, might unlock a key to maybe you were meant to be the contractor. Or maybe you discover a love of woodworking, or you discover a love of, siting a location for building, or you realize that maybe in the end, it wasn't the building of the home itself, it was the struggle of going through having to juggle all the different vendors, getting all the different permits, going through the design process. And just in doing that, you realize there's an art form to that. There's an art form to managing people. There's an art form to project management. There's an art form to design. And there's something there, I think for many of you, that it's almost like you're being asked to be curious about where you're not allowing yourself to realize that what you yearn for out there, what you're seeing for yourself, what you might envy in another or others, is something that you are also uniquely capable of achieving. But you have to get over that part of yourself that has said, well, you're not good enough and you can't have that. You're not deserving of the loving partnership with the family and everything else. You're not deserving of the, owning your own business. You're not deserving of having the big house on the hill and the location you've always dreamed of. And this is saying, get back to you. Get back to that innocence of what just excites you on a core level, and get ready to go on the adventure. And don't hold yourself back from where perhaps you think you cannot go. Because when you think about the queen here, she could easily, there's nothing stopping her from just kind of taking a couple steps out this doorway and walking into the world she sees over here. And she might walk out that door and realize, oh my gosh, actually, it's, it looks beautiful and inviting. And I walk out there and suddenly I'm, being bitten by a bunch of mosquitoes, and it's actually really hot. Here I was in my nice air conditioned castle, and I walk outside and it's like 110 degrees. And the sun looked so beautiful, but I didn't realize that until I went out there. So there's a feeling too of whatever you're envying from afar, you're being asked to embrace it, because that's really going to be a part of your next cycle. I think it's going to show you something about whether it's, here we go, 10 of Swords coming up again. It's showing you something about where either you've been hiding from just stepping out into the world, maybe it's just as simple as taking that step towards that, maybe it's just as simple as literally this person comes in and says, I want to marry you. And all you have to do is step over the threshold and say yes. And suddenly you're there. But you're too afraid to do that because of this past time that brought you to your knees, the 10 of Swords. So for many of you, see where you're holding yourself back from stepping out into something that you are truly deserving of and fully capable of getting for yourself as well. I'm a very strong believer that what is meant for us and what we yearn for deep within is never meant to be withheld from us. It's that we withhold it from ourselves because we are fearful, because we don't feel we are deserving, or we don't feel we are capable. In Virgo, you are both. Okay, let's see. See if anything else wants to come out for envy. It might just be that 10 of Swords. Again, that lowest point coming through. I think it's time for you to start looking at your wounds too as not yeah, there's something here around some love, a past relationship, the Lover's coming in, or something that you chose that you loved. This could be that passion project. I started the business and I thought it was going to be this amazing thing because I was so passionate about this. It didn't work out. And now you're holding yourself back from being able to step out into the land of what you love, who you love. So don't hold yourself back there. But what I was going to say is I think for some of you, it's really getting to that point of not hiding from the wounds of the past or of this moment in your life. It's about embracing that as kind of like, the pin, the medal of valor that you put on your coat for others to see, to say, yeah, I really had to go through this. And man, it was tough. But boy, did it make me stronger. Boy, did it make me realize that I'm going to double down on this, or that I'm worthy of this, or that, sometimes these things happen, but my gosh, I saw how capable I was. Oops, let me get the actual right deck here. So I'm going to pull a card now for, I get this feeling almost of like lightening up with the stories you tell about yourself in your past, this feeling of, sharing from a place of, kind of the innocent child. When I think about when children share things about themselves, it's often, kind of almost like we might laugh at it a little bit because it's so blunt and honest, and in a way, they might say like, yeah, that was the worst day of my life or something like that. And you can look at it and say, yeah, that probably was really an awful experience. But in the grand scheme of things, that there's so much more for this child to experience, that was just in the few short years they've lived. And then that's why we kind of laugh when they're like, it was the worst thing that ever happened in my whole life. And they're like, 7, 8 years old. And yet from our perspective, we know that there's going to be so many other things to come up ahead, but the way that they share it is endearing, and the way that they know that they've kind of gotten past it, it's almost like having to kind of get back to that place with yourself of like, yeah, this was the worst thing that ever happened to you, but there's a whole nother life waiting for you at this point, and it's time to let this go. And you can still share it with others. It can still be there. It's still part of your story, but it doesn't have to be that door that keeps you blocked from walking into the love or the experience you want to have in this lifetime. Now, here we have surrender to awe and wonder. This is what Spirit is asking you to have the courage to surrender to. So it's a pretty easy one, right? Surrender to wonder and awe. It says, open to the magic of every moment and sense the awe and wonder in all of life. This attitude will keep you connected to the ecstasy of flow. I love this because for me, this is one of the most important points in our experience if we want to continue to manifest abundance in our life and to continue the energy of growth, that we need to be kind of in this suspended state of wonder and awe as to how we are going to be surprised by what is right around the corner waiting for us that's beneficial. That person we're just going to run into, I'm a cheesy person. I love my Hallmark movies, and there's this kind of, again, cheesy formulaic method to how they are, that when that main character drops all of their bags or is running late and they're running without looking, that they're going to run smack right into the love of their life or into that person who's going to help their business grow or give them the money they need to do whatever. It's one of those things. And that's what I have 100% faith is waiting for all of us if we are in a place to see it. Because when we think of those Hallmark movies, it'd be a very different story if that person holding their coffee cup running around the corner smashes into the love of their life, spills coffee on each other, and when the other person says, haha, no worries, hey, how about I get your number? It seems like, we live in the area, this is kind of a silly thing, and you seem like a great person. The other person says, yeah, no, you know what? No thanks, bye. And suddenly that beautiful opportunity for an incredible connection for that person would be gone. And so keep that in mind for yourselves, Virgo. There's a lot of opportunity. Yeah, Seven of Swords, avoidance. You're trying to avoid coming into this place. I think some of you are trying to avoid an opportunity that's knocking, that you're trying to avoid going with the flow towards something that is really coming in. This again would be like the love of your life knocking on your door and saying, I've loved you from afar, I want to get married. And you're like, no, this can't be possible. There's no way someone would love me like that. There's no way this person would care for me in that way, especially after what happened to me. And then you're just like, no, thank you. Close the door. Or same thing with a business opportunity. You get that amazing promotion. Maybe you go from making, maybe you're just going from like a basic person in your office to suddenly somebody comes in and says, you know what, we really want you to become the head project manager for the entire division. And suddenly you go from somebody who really had no autonomy, who really had no say, and suddenly you double your salary and you're asked to move up into the corporate office headquarters. And you're like, but no, it can't possibly be the case. Like this is too much for me. I'm not deserving of that. When I took that position last time, I was overworked and I wasn't able to keep up and I got fired, or I got sick and I had to go away. Or I just hated it. It's one of those things where it's like you have to realize that there's an opportunity knocking right now, and it's not the time to run away. It's time to surrender to that wonder and awe as to how that's going to expand your life in a huge way. Virgo. Let's see. Okay, we have one last card. Yep, Page of Wands. So you have the third page. You guys have a lot of pages out here. So we have a lot of the Page of Cups, and we also have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is getting to that place of childlike exuberance around the wand here. So the Knight of Wands is the one who kind of gets up on the horse and says, like, let's go out there. The Page of Wands is a kid who wants to play. They're just excited. They're ready to go out, and so a lot of you are kind of hiding from that playful feeling. That there can be this feeling of almost like it's too good to be true. This seems too fun. I can't do that. I can't let myself get to that point. I have to keep my guard up, keep my walls up. And there's a lot of pushing to say, embrace the inner child. It's time to go out and have fun. It's time to understand your emotions, understand that you're emotionally strong at this point and can handle whatever comes your way. But it's time to also follow what you love or who you love. And it's time to start investing in that again. Okay, so let's see. Final card here is for the concept of contemplation. So this is where Spirit would like you to stay open and reflective to throughout the next month and a half so that you can really ground this message into your everyday experience. So Virgo, as you're meditating, as you're reflecting on what's my truth, what's been holding me back, what's this point that brought me to my knees that I feel somehow is holding me back from achieving something, the life I want to live. This message coming through is another extra point to really kind of help open that door to Spirit to really give you the message of you can do it. This is the way. This is what you've been avoiding. Okay, so 2 cards came out. So I have 2. We have deep replenishment, retreat, rest, be held. So yes, again, like quadruple confirmation for the 4 of Swords. Which is really the strong feeling of just getting back to resting so that you can have this kind of, basically so you can heal the wound. Heal the wound. Get into a place of emotional stability and see what you've been holding yourself back from stepping into. And then what's been covering that is Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. I love this. This card always, for me, with the beauty and devotion, speaks to harnessing the energy of Venus, of harnessing the energy in the beauty of the present moment. But there's also the priestess, mystic, teacher, there's this feeling coming in of honoring that deep part that lies within each one of us. That it doesn't matter whether you're male or female or how you identify. Within each one of us, there is the mystic. There is the teacher. There is the priest or the high priest, the priest or the priestess. There's that point within us where we touch through our emotional core to Spirit, to the divine. And this is where we have to honor that part of ourselves. Honor the mystery of life that we are here and living. Honor the mystery of the magic that lies around us and the beauty in even just the smallest things, like a rose or nature, or the beauty in the individual that you're facing in the moment. So there's something here around really getting back to this place of resting, of being in a place of reflection, and getting back deeply to that place where you honor the magic within yourself and you see the beauty through you as much as you see it in others or outside yourself. So we have elephant spirit, learn from the past, number 5, breaking down to number 7, which is co-creating with spirit. It's having the confidence in yourself, who you are, but also in the confidence of co-creating with spirit. So I like this as learn from the past. So many of you, this is just, that is what this is. The 4 of Swords is learning from the past. It's resting, it's reviewing. The world's coming in to say a major cycle is over. So what do we do when a major cycle is over? We review, we look at the lessons learned, we looked at how strong we are now, and we look at what we want to carry forward into the next cycle. Again, if we've been carrying a heavy burden that's been so hard for us to get to this point, and we finally put it down, and we're looking through it, and we're like looking through the wood pile, and we're like, what is the one staff I want to take with me as I start the hike, the journey towards the mountaintop over there that I see? You're not going to sit there and try to pick up all of these wands again because you know the burden they carry. Just like you're not going to pick up all of the swords again because you know how they cut. And so you're going to leave those behind, but you are going to carry one of each with you moving forward. You're going to carry the one thing that really lights your passion, that makes you excited, thinking about getting connected to your inner child. And you're going to carry forward that one sword that you feel most powerful with, that one part of your truth that you're like, yeah, this is me. When I look at the blade of this sword, I see me reflected. And it feels easy for me to wield. The truth feels comfortable, and I get to wear it proudly. So remember this kind of element of what do you want the rest of the world to see? What do you want to proudly state to others? But also, what are you bringing with you on this fresh new opportunity as you step out into the light of what's out here? As you release the past, what can you get excited about what's coming in for you? And how is what's coming in for you going to, through wonder and awe, support your inner child, support the best part of yourself that's now been freshly illuminated? What makes you excited, just on a pure innocent level when you think about it for yourself? What's that image when you think about just a scene that would make you get close to that feeling of joy that would bring tears to your eyes? And just keep that with you throughout the next month and a half and watch what comes in for you. It'll be the first step, the first opportunity towards manifesting that for yourself. Okay, I'm pulling a final card here for the concept of the overarching spiritual lesson that you're learning about yourself over the next month and a half. I'm going to read the full excerpt from the book that comes with this. You get a message that does not come directly from me. So we have 11, and it says 1111 messages in the numbers. I love this. I love this because I'm a big fan of numerology. For me, numbers do speak truth, so I hope that many of you feel the same way. So it says the universe is speaking to you through numbers. From 1111 on your phone to the repeating number patterns that catch your eye, information is being transmitted from the creative universal intelligence into your cellular awareness. You may feel energetic healing as you receive these transmissions of number frequencies. Numbers are energetic medicine. They are particular frequencies in a universal language of love that helps heal and guide you. There are no negative numbers. Healing vibrations of numbers are working for your soul now. Which numbers do you notice most often at this time? The frequency, and basically this goes into now detailing out each number and what it might mean if you're seeing it. So It says the frequency of the 1 is about beginnings, taking the initiative, believing in yourself, and accepting a leadership role in which you step ahead of the curve beyond the consciousness of those around you to guide the human race forward into love. The frequency of the 2 brings healing around partnership and allows you to be helped by others, particularly in relationships. Whether business or personal, the 2 indicates more can be gained by working with another. And that's strongly coming through here with this envy card and the number 2 that was really highlighted for me. So keep that in mind for some of you. It says the frequency of the 3 indicates a time to learn, write, teach, or develop new ideas, collaborate with others, and create win-win situations. It is also the number stamp of the ascended masters, particularly multiple 3s affirming their connection with you. The frequency of the 4 brings angelic healing, divine order, and an influx of energy into the physical plane. It is a get things done energy, which can help you materialize desires. More than 1 4 in a row means the angels are speaking to you. Call upon their loving assistance to help you manifest your divine destiny. The frequency of the 5 announces change and acceleration. An issue is resolving. Transformation is happening through divine alchemy. If you see a 5, let go. Allow what is happening to happen. Trust in the goodness behind all unfolding in your life. The frequency of the 6 is love, money, beauty, and abundance. Many people are afraid of the 6 vibration, especially multiple 6s, which some teach are a sign of evil. There are no negative numbers, however. The 6 is a sign of material abundance and healing of prosperity, love, and romance. The frequency of the 7 indicates healing ability, channeling of spiritual wisdom in the sage or teacher. It is a sign to accept what makes you unique and to balance your social life with restorative solitude. If you have asked about your life mission, the 7 indicates it is, at least in part, self-healing and very likely the healing of others too. The frequency of the 8 asks you to step up into leadership that is not apart from others, but amongst them. Others may look to you as a role model or authority figure. Accept this with humility and remember to encourage others to find their own power. The frequency of the 9 is a highly spiritual energy indicating blessings, compassion, and an ending of a cycle. It comes when resolution of unfinished business is taking place so a new cycle can begin in due course. It also indicates the Christ consciousness and can be a message from any master that resonates with that energy, reminding you to trust your heart and ask for love to bless and assist you. The frequency of the 0 is a divine wild card. It amplifies the energy of the other numbers and places a divine stamp behind it. Any significant number accompanied by a 0 is a message direct from the universe. It is the divine saying, I am sharing something true and special with you. Take note, for I am with you. Use the invocation below when you feel the numbers are talking to you and you want to absorb their loving message. And I don't normally read this, but I'm going to do this today. It says, invocation. I give thanks for the messages, energetic healing, support, and encouragement given to me now and always through unconditional love. I give permission to unconditional love to heal my body, mind, and soul through the healing frequencies of the numbers. May all beings feel the love and guiding intelligence of this supporting, nurturing universe through loving grace and my own free will. So be it. And that really speaks over here to this, again, unconditional love. So there's a big message here around unconditional love. Unconditional love for yourself, unconditional love for your inner child, as much as you hold space for unconditional love of others and the universe as well to return that. All right, Virgo, I'm going to leave this here for you. I really wish you all a wonderful month of love, of opening the door to what's waiting for you, what Spirit's asking you to embrace, this next chapter that is going to be full of abundance and love. And for those of you who are interested in getting your own personal reading to illuminate something more about who you are, a challenge you're facing, or just more about yourself in general so that you can better see your path and purpose, you can click on the link in my description box below to visit my website. I will also be posting a video at some point over the next few weeks about how to work with your moon sign. I think many people don't really know a lot about that, and I find that it's actually one of the most important placements in your astrological birth chart. So I'll be speaking to that and showing how by knowing your moon sign and looking at where it's placed in your chart, that you can better help bring out the authentic self, the part of ourself that we actually have the most emotional wounding around and why we kind of hide it because of that. And then also in looking at the house placement, we see where, when we focus on that specific house and what it represents in our life and in our birth chart, where we can emotionally stabilize ourselves so that then we have a better kind of foundation to then be able to clearly pursue and see our purpose. So for those of you who'd like to join me there, keep your eye out. Please like, subscribe, and follow this channel for more videos along those lines. Otherwise, I'll be releasing the next Illumination video series in January. And in December, I will be posting a shorter miracle reading where we'll be looking at a miracle that wants to come in for each of the signs. So I send you so much love, and Virgo, I really hope you open yourself up to the understanding that you are as worthy of love as the next person. All right. Until the next video, bye, Virgo.